This is you staring at the cracks, gaps, or joints in your concrete, wondering how you can seal them to prevent bigger problems later. And this is you after watching this video because it showed you exactly what you need and 6 simple steps you can take to solve your concrete issues in under 3 minutes. So here are the tools you'll need to caulk those gaps. Concrete caulk made for outdoor use, a caulk gun, manual or electric, something to clean the crack like a 5-in-1 tool or maybe even a butter knife, a hose or a leaf blower, and a spray bottle with soapy water. After you've gathered your materials, it's time to prepare and clean out the gaps completely. To do that, scrape out any loose concrete, dirt, weeds, or even old caulk. Then rinse or blow it out. If you do use water, just make sure to let the crack dry fully, otherwise the caulk may not bond the way that it should. Depending on the width or depth of the gap that you're dealing with, you may want to add something called backer rod that looks and feels just like a pool noodle. The goal here is to give your caulk a solid base to sit on, which keeps it from sinking too far into the joint. At this point, if you're using a tube, you're going to want to puncture an opening, and then you want to cut the nozzle at a slight angle. And you do want that opening just a bit smaller than the crack you're filling, because that angle gives you better control as you move. Once you feel as though you've got the right tip size, it's time to apply a steady, even bead of caulk. Keep that nozzle just above the bottom of the crack or backer rod, and move at a comfortable speed, aiming for a bead that sits just below the surface. It's better to use a little less than too much because messy overfills are harder to fix. After you've laid your bead, spray your finger with soapy water and gently run it along the caulk. This helps it bond to both sides of that joint and flex with the concrete as it shifts over time. Make sure to wipe off any buildup from your hand as you go because again, caulk can get very sticky very fast. Now, before I tell you that bonus step that you can take to really make your DIY project look professional, it's important to note that most concrete caulk takes around 24 hours to cure, but make sure you check the label on your product to be sure. At this stage in the process, if your caulking looks neat and it stays sealed, you're probably good to go. Just make sure you check it once or twice a year and touch up any trouble spots as needed. Oh, and that bonus step I mentioned is totally optional, but it really can add some value if appearance matters to you. So before the caulk cures, you're going to want to sprinkle on some fine sand or crushed stone while it's still wet. Gently press it in to help it bond, and once the caulk is dry, make sure to use a leaf blower to remove any excess sand or stone. Thanks for watching.